Are you ready to vibe? You're listening to Creepy Vibes Only.
As the sniffling queen of Creepy Vibes Only, I welcome you to my throne.
Okie dokie, ravioli.
Don't
I'm
you
ready.
Okie dokie artichoke?
No, it's ravioli.
No, it's not. Kind of French
It is.
nonsense. Are you perpetuating? No, it's not. Here, I'm going to type it into Google, and we're going to see the first thing that pops up, okay?
No one likes artichokes.
Yeah.
Everybody loves ravioli.
No, I mean, ravioli is great.
Exactly.
Okay, Okie dokie artichoke is a song. Okie dokie ravioli is
It's a saying.
seemingly for basketball. I typed in Okie dokie ravioli, and it's like just basketball videos with like no views.
There you go. I'm hip with the basketball people.
Sure you are. Did you ever play basketball?
We make merch. Have I ever played basketball? Have you met me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to imagine you playing a sport.
Can't even walk into a wall without fucking dying.
Do you intentionally walk into walls? What a strange thing to say. Okay. Anyways. Everyone, if you could please keep Steph in your thoughts and prayers because her mind is not what it used to be. Oh, Lord. Okay. Well, guys, we're on episode 2 of our marathon. I keep saying marathon as though we're like doing anything strenuous. We're just sitting and talking for the day, which is like
chilling
pretty
in bed.
normal. Yeah, like, this is just an average Sunday. So Stephanie,
yes,
I have brought you here today.
Oh no.
To make you suffer.
Oh fuck.
So before I get started, I want to thank the New England Society for Psychic Research, specifically TonySpera.com, because that's the source I used for this story.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be talking about the subject of many movies mentioned in my favorite horror series, the Conjuring series. If you haven't seen the first one, like, what are you doing? It's a great horror movie.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you get scared, so I don't include you in that.
Okay.
I just assume. Someday I will get Steph to watch Paranormal Activity, and we will live stream it.
I've seen the first one, and I got nauseous because they moved the camera too much.
Okay. Remind me that we can't go on cruises. We'll stick to all-inclusives. Okay. Well, today we are talking about Annabelle. Steph, do you want to tell the listeners why you have that reaction to Annabelle?
Because we're fucking getting cursed.
If 2020 hasn't gotten me, then I think we're like, okay. Also, for those of you who haven't seen the Conjuring series or like otherwise aren't familiar with Annabelle, she's currently locked in a box that has like all sorts of like holy stuff on it.
Go and cleanse your space right now. Pause, go and cleanse, and then re-cleanse after. Do whatever you need to do to cleanse, but you know.
As a great podcast once said, aka ATWWD, when in doubt, sage it out.
Yes.
Anyways,
okay.
So I'm gonna take you through the whole like history of Annabelle. So for those of you who don't know, Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll. And she is a spicier than average Raggedy Ann doll because by and large, like they're just like, I don't know, it's like a plushie, like with a very like friendly looking face. And a triangular red nose and like, I don't know, happy expressions. So in 1970, a woman bought a Raggedy Ann doll from an antique dealer, and her daughter, who was going to be the recipient, it was a birthday present for her, and her daughter was also like approaching graduation from college with a nursing degree. So smart gal, making her way in the world. Mom was like, I know what my adult daughter will like, a doll.
Like, why?
I don't know. People like stuff.
One, don't get like antiques should not be gifts. Don't do it. And two, like, why would you give her a doll?
So Steph says that. I love antiques, so feel free to buy me antiques. Everyone. I'm not scared. I have no fear. My cottage has these like beautiful, so my cottage is old, but it has these like beautiful doors that go out to the porch. And they have this
They are very nice.
They're very nice. And they have like a cranking doorbell, and I want to steal them from my mother and father, my great daughter, and put like stained glass in them. Anyways, I love antiques. I'm digressing. So anyways, her daughter Donna was graduating with a nursing degree from college and is getting a Raggedy Ann doll from her mom. So Donna is living with a girl named Angie, roomies. Angie's also an educated and clever gal. So Donna's like, this is a great gift. I'm going to put it on my bed as a decoration, and like just really didn't put much thought into it. However, pretty quickly, like within a few days, Donna and Angie noticed that things were a little off, specifically with the doll. So it started off like, and oh my God, if you've listened to the demonic possessions episode, like this should be clicking. The doll starts to like move around the house and like starts off slow, like just like small movements, like kind of adjusting like the way it would be sitting, or like suddenly like she'd leave it like lying down and be sitting up, or like it would have like one arm in one position and they come back into the room and it would be a different position, and yada yada. But as things do with hauntings, when you pay attention to them, they escalate. So as time went on, the movement became more noticeable. So like they'd come home and like Annabelle would be in a fucking different room.
Okay, like the second that happens, it's gone.
Just
like I wouldn't give it a chance to progress. Like you move, you're out.
Yeah.
Clearly you want to leave the house. I am helping you leave. You're out.
Yeah, done. I'm gonna move you to the front fucking door, my friend. So like it says like on the historical website, like the doll would be found with legs crossed, arms folded. Other times we found upright, standing on its feet. Okay, keep in mind this is like a stuffed animal thing. Like that, it shouldn't be able to do that. Donna would also like often leave the doll on the couch when she'd like go to work, and would come back to find the doll back in her room with the door closed, like on the bed, as if it was like taking a nap. Like it was like, listen, I was watching TV earlier.
Get rid of it.
Honestly. So, of course, continues to progress. So Annabelle was also an educated young lady. So she not only like gallivanted about the house, she was also literate. She could write with her little like club stuffed hands. So about a month into this whole shebang, Dawn and Angie started to find notes from Annabelle, and they would be on parchment paper, and they would say either help us or help Lou. And the handwriting looked like the hand Lulu? No, not my Lulu, who has fortunately gone to sleep. But the handwriting looked like it was a kid's handwriting.
So gross.
Yeah. And like what's my favorite part of all this is like they were always on parchment paper. Donna and Angie never kept parchment paper in their house.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I really don't like them.
Well, maybe they just like, I don't know. They didn't know better.
Oh, you didn't know better. Your fucking doll is moving around, and then you have supplies in your house that you didn't have before. Like, no.
Be like, oh man, my doll's going shopping for us. How helpful.
Just fucking get rid of it.
Yep.
I'm angry.
It's okay. It continues.
Oh, great.
So one night, Donna came back and she found the doll had, of course, relocated itself. And this time it was on her bed. So this was like, for them, like very mundane. Like they just expected Annabelle was like fucking around the house. But this time she was like, the vibe was different. Like something was off. And she felt this like wave of fear wash over her. And the doll, when she looked at it, it looked like it had blood drops on the back of its hands and chest. And from like seemingly from nowhere, this like liquid, this like crimson liquid appeared on the doll. And this is what it took for Donna and Angie to be like, maybe we should get some assistance in this matter.
Ugh.
So they contacted a medium. And
question.
Yes.
So it was just the two of them living together? They didn't have somebody else there?
No, it was just the two of them.
Because the whole time they're like they were okay with their doll being possessed. Or did they think someone was fucking with them?
Well, I think they just like I don't know. It doesn't really say. And I wasn't there. I don't know what they thought.
You should.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
You'd have to ask them. They're probably still alive. No, they were probably born like if it was like if 1970 she was graduating, she was probably what, like 22? So 1950, she's probably around 70. Just find her email. Be like, sure. Hey Donna, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Donna, if you're listening, Donna, what the fuck? Anyways, okay, so they were like, the solution here is to contact a medium. So at this point, they have a seance. So they just swing that door right open.
Yeah, not helping, but okay.
Anyways, and this is where they are introduced to what identifies itself as the spirit of Annabelle Higgins.
Oh, it's got a last name. Fancy.
Yeah, Annabelle has a whole like life. So the story of Annabelle is basically relayed to them by the medium, and she explains that Annabelle was a little girl who lived on the property like long before there were ever apartments there. And like she was only 7 years old when her body was discovered like on the field where the apartments now were.
That's sad.
I know. And I guess like through the medium, the spirit was like, I feel loved with you guys. I feel comforted by you guys. So Donna and Angie were like, "Aw, so that's okay. You can stay with us. You can stay within the doll, and we will have you as part of our little household."
It's a demon.
So, yeah, no, guys. I have mixed feelings on this. Oh, but don't invite things in. Don't be like, "You're welcome here." That's not
big mistake. That's how vampires go in. I've watched Vampire Diaries.
Through watching Twilight, I'm now an expert in these matters.
Yeah.
So, as you may expect, this is not necessarily true. So, Dawn and Angie also have this friend named Lou. Lou basically had always gotten like a weird vibe from the doll and was like, this is
fuck yeah, Lou. Yeah,
Lou's like not into it. And had like on more than one occasion been like, Donna, this shit's evil, you need to get rid of it. Like, shout out to Lou for being the voice of reason here. But Donna like felt very like she fell for the doll because like I don't know, it was saying it was this like dead child who died when they were 7.
Okay, no.
And basically disregarded Lou being like, fucking get the shit out of here. So one night Lou, I guess, was staying there. I couldn't tell if Lou was like a friend visiting or if they were a third roommate.
Okay.
I feel like they were friend visiting because like it always said that it was just Donna and Angie, but anyways. Lou woke one night and was like fucking panicked. He like started having these like recurring bad dreams, but this time it was super different. And he basically describes it as sleep paralysis. Like he's like awake but can't move.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked around the room and like everything looked normal until he looked down towards his feet.
And
Annabelle was there. And it slowly moved up his legs, over his chest, and then it stopped.
That's
And
so
then it
gross.
started strangling him.
Oh.
And he then blacked out.
Oh, shit.
So he woke up the next morning, thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like absolutely fucking positive it was not a dream. He's like, this fucking doll is trying to kill me. I love that the doll was also leaving notes saying like, protect Lou or help Lou. It's probably just like trying to be like, I love Lou. Don't listen.
Protect him. I'm going to kill him in a week.
Yeah, protect him from me. So Lou was like, I'm going to do something about this. So I think Lou actually must have been a roommate. Because he's like, I'm getting this. He's like, I'm getting rid of it myself. I'm getting rid of the spirit possessing it. Because at this point, they don't realize how insidious this really is.
Mm-hmm.
So, preparing for. So they were going to go on a road trip the next day. Lou and Angie were reading over maps alone in her apartment. Maybe he wasn't a roommate. I can't tell. Angie, if you're listening,
I think that if he was a roommate, though, like, Annabelle would have not stayed there over a week. Like, he would have gotten that shit down.
I feel like they're saying it's a friend. I feel like he was probably dating one of them.
Oh, secret lover.
Yeah, so preparing for a road trip, like, so he and Angie are reading over maps alone in her apartment. So I feel like maybe he was dating Angie, but the apartment was like super quiet until there started to like sounds starting to come from Donna's room, and they thought someone had broken into the apartment. So Lou was like, I'll check this shit out. So he waited for the sound to stop, and then he like went into the room and turned on the light. And the room was empty, except Annabelle was like tossed on the floor in the corner. And Lou like looked around, but like, and looked for signs of like someone breaking in, but nothing was out of place. And as he got close to the doll, he felt like something was behind him, watching him. So he turned around to look, and no one was there. And then suddenly he like felt this incredible pain in his chest and like hunched over in pain, and he was suddenly cut and bleeding.
Oh shit.
And his like blood started to like soak through his shirt, and then when he looked in his shirt, there were 7 distinct claw marks on his chest. There were 3 vertically and 4 like across, and they were all like hot burns. And then what's even crazier is the scratches healed like pretty much like right away, and then by like a day or 2 they were completely gone.
Oh no.
So finally Donna is like open to the fact that it's not like a little girl in the...
She is not a good friend.
Yeah, Donna, what the fuck? Donna, if you're listening, Donna, did you learn your lesson? Why did it take Lou getting hurt? You should have listened to Lou.
Yeah.
Lou is like out here. So finally Donna's like, oh, maybe this is a demon. So after Lou's experience of getting fucked up, she was like, I'm going to get real advice from a real expert as opposed to just like inviting shit in. And she went to an Episcopal, wow, that was hard to say, priest named Father Hegan. Father Hegan is like, this shit's fucked. Probably didn't say that because he's a father. And he was like, I'm going to go up the rungs in the church. So he then contacted Father Cook. And Father Cook knew some people named the Warrens. We'll have to talk about the Warrens like later on, because they were like, if you're into the paranormal stuff, which clearly we are because we have a podcast.
Us no.
Named Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very famous people of the demonic fighting type.
Mm-hmm.
With some movies, which are really good. Anyways, they were like, this is really interesting. Oh dear. Oh dear. So they reached out to Donna right away. So the Warrens then came and met with Donna and Angie and Lou, and were immediately like, this is a fucking non-human spirit. This is not good. And they basically explained like spirits do not possess inanimate objects like houses or toys. They possess people, but in human presences can attach themselves to a place or object, which is basically this whole situation. So they're like, this is not a human. This is not This is not Gucci. So they basically explained that like whatever it was had manipulated them through the doll in order to like make it have human characteristics so that they would like be empathetic towards it and more open towards it. So this like presence was not like, its plan was never to stay attached to the doll. It was actually looking for a human host.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, by the time they came into contact with them, it was in the infestation stage of demonic possession.
Oh shit.
So they explained it would have been moving around the apartment by teleportation to like kind of like make them curious. Then, of course, like when they fucked up and got a medium to communicate with it, the demon was like now able to actually like take advantage of like the vulnerable
Build a
maternal
rapport.
instincts. Yeah, and it like basically like tugged at their heartstrings to make it seem harmless and like make it seem this is like this sad little girl. And of course was then given permission to fucking take up residency in the apartment.
Big
So
no-nos.
oh my god, it was crazy. So it basically like, now that it had the like ability to like leave notes and have like attacking, so like they explained that like the way it attacked Lou, it was leaving behind the mark of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
And so they also explained that like had these whole thing gone on for like 2 or 3 weeks, it would have probably gone to the full stage of possession. And it would have harmed or like fully killed one or all of the people living in the apartment.
Insane. I
So
have no words.
yeah. So by the end of their investigation, the Warrens were like, yeah, we need to have like an exorcism blessing done by Father Cook to cleanse the apartment. Because this is too messed. And at Donna's request, and to make sure like this never happened again in the home, the Warrens actually took the Raggedy Ann doll with them when they left. So it continues actually.
Ah.
So Father Cook, obviously, like, so he was the one who contacted the Warrens for them.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he wasn't, I guess, like very confident in his performance, like as an exorcist, but he did agree to perform the exorcism in the apartment.
Okay.
So this made the Warrens pretty sure that the like whatever like this demon would no longer like take up residency there. And of course, as mentioned, they did take the doll back with them. So Ed, I guess like Ed Warren put the doll in the backseat of the car, and he would not take the interstate just in case the spirit still was in the doll. So it wouldn't like fucking drive them into traffic or something. And it turns out his like concern was well-founded, because in pretty much no time, the doll started fucking acting a fool. I say the doll, it was whatever the demon was inside it.
Mm-hmm.
The like doll made the power steering fail, made the brakes fail, the car would like swerve. And so Ed, I guess while driving, had to reach into the back seat and do his like special bag of tricks and like douse the doll with holy water with the sign of the cross.
That's just Ed who couldn't drive. He's like, no, it's the doll. It's the doll.
Yeah,
So
Ed's like, I'm a good driver, don't worry. But I guess like that worked, and the doll stopped fucking acting up, and they got home safely.
Okay.
So once they got home, Ed put Annabelle in a chair next to his desk, and the doll would levitate in it.
Just
for funsies.
watch. Get rid of it.
Well, because they have this whole well, they've both since passed away, but they basically had this room full of like demonic possessed objects, because I guess if you like destroy the object, it can free the entity up. So because they had like safeguards in order to like prevent things from leaving that room or like otherwise fucking around, they felt it was better to keep them rather than like, because they were experts, rather than put other people at risk by letting them out. which like good for them because I'd be like,
Yeah.
no thanks. And yeah, the doll would also just like get all feisty whenever like clergymen would come over. So one example they give is, I guess, this guy named Father Jason Bradford came over, and he was a Catholic exorcist. So he came into the house and saw the doll like in the chair and picked it up and was like, "You're just a ragdoll, Annabelle. You can't hurt anyone." And threw the doll back in the chair, which made Ed Warren basically say, "That's one thing you better not say." And 1 hour later, Father Bradford was leaving. And Lorraine, his wife, was like, "You need to call me like when you get home safe. You have to drive safely." And a few hours later, Father Jason did call and explain to Lorraine. And Lorraine was like a very like prolific medium. Like she was able to like see into the future a little bit.
Okay.
He was like, "Yeah, my brakes failed as he was entering a busy intersection. And he was involved in a near fatal accident. So it almost destroyed his vehicle."
God.
So the Warrens ended up having a special case built for the doll. And she's still there because it's now an occult museum in like the house they formerly lived in. She's never left her case, and she hasn't moved since being inside it, which is lovely. But they do like it's suspected that Annabelle is responsible for the death of a young man who actually visited the museum.
Okay.
So he and his girlfriend went to the museum on a motorcycle. And after hearing Ed Warren's like story of the doll, I guess like went up to the case that the doll was in and started banging on it and was like, if the doll can put scratches on people, then he also wanted to be scratched. And Ed was like, "Yeah, buddy, you gotta go," and kicked him out. And on the way home, this like guy and his girlfriend were just like razzing the doll and making fun of it. And then he lost control of his motorcycle and went headfirst into a tree. And that killed him instantly. His girlfriend did survive, but she was in the hospital for like a year.
And here we are talking about it. Thanks a lot, Em.
She can't hear us.
She
anyways. Yeah, so that's the story of Annabelle.
I hated it. Hated every second of it.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah, I find it like very fascinating. Like, as you guys should all know, like I'm a skeptic, but fascinating stuff.
Yeah. I just don't fuck with those things. Like, if your doll starts moving, get rid of it. Don't be like, let's see. No, just get rid of it.
Yeah, when in doubt, kick that shit out.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Steph,
all right. Then.
I know I told you that your birthday present isn't arriving until like. So for those of you who don't know, it was Steph's birthday yesterday.
Yes.
And I ordered her a Raggedy Ann doll. Oh, I'm just kidding. I did not. Could you imagine? He's so heinous. I would never. Maybe it's like a joke gift, but it'd have to be like a brand new one. Anyways, yeah. I'll soak it in like tea bags so it looks very ancient. Yeah, honestly. Just like, nope. No, I wouldn't do it to Sylvie. I wouldn't bring a doll like that into her house.
Yeah, don't fuck with Sylvie.
Yeah, Syl's my girl. My OG. Mm-hmm. So what you got for me, buddy?
So today we are visiting the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel.
Okay, I've always wanted to go there.
It's so fucking beautiful.
So beautiful.
So the hotel is located in Alberta, Canada. Its nickname is the Castle in the Rockies. It is this gorgeous, gorgeous hotel. It does kind of look like a castle, and it's surrounded by the mountains and absolutely beautiful. It was built in 1988 as one of the earliest Canada's Grand Railway Hotel. So, like I said, it's in Banff, Alberta, and it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So the Banff Springs Hotel is extremely famous, not only because of how like its grandeur and how beautiful it is, but also had throughout its history a lot of high status guests. So the royal family has been there, Barack Obama, Steven Spielberg, Marilyn Monroe, like loads of people, notable people have been there. However, as much as its famous guests are some of the guests that people talk about, the more famous guests are the ones that have never checked out.
Oh, ominous.
Mm.
Also, for the record, the only royal family that matters to me are the Obamas.
For a second, I thought you were going to say the Kardashians because you're obsessed with them. And I was like, no.
I find them fascinating. That is absolutely true. I will not deny it. But no, the Obamas, North America, if they have a royal family, that's them. The James family, LeBron and his wife, number 2. Anyways, carry on.
So one thing with the so hotel staff and management are very quick to tell everyone that it is not haunted. Sorry, but there are a bajillion ghost stories, and there's now some like tourism linked to it that people who want to go see the famous stories, they go and check out the hotel. So to start off, I found this really cool website called taximike.com. And there's a section that's called paranormal, and that's where people just like write in their own experiences. And she took like general stuff. So people have said that they would get woken up in the middle of the night by people playing with their feet, which is disgusting.
Ew.
I know. The door handles in their rooms would all just start rattling inexplicably. Doors would slam with force. There's so like, I kind of like the story. There's a man that sits at the bar and he just like screams at people and then he just like vanishes.
Perfect. It's like Pub 101.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you go on that website, there's like loads of stories. It's very interesting. So I'm going to go through the famous claims, and I think we have a total of 5 either notable areas or ghosts that haunt the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel. So to start off with her first claim, it is one that you see in the lobby. So in the main lobby, one night a night cleaner saw a man that was reading the newspaper, and he was dressed in this formal older attire. The cleaner thought he was a wedding guest who he assumed that the guy got lost and was just kind of waiting around for someone to come and find him. Because apparently how the hallways are made from like the ballrooms and all that, like it is a maze, so it's easy to get lost in there. So he decided to go help the man find his way back to the wedding reception. The cleaner asked the man if he needed help, but the man ignored him. He got up from his chair, folded his newspaper, and at full speed ran straight at the cleaner and passed right through him.
I would have shit my pants.
So the cleaner, obviously in shock, turned around and saw that he was completely alone in that empty hallway.
Like,
and
okay, not even because it's a ghost, but if like someone starts fucking rushing you, that's terrifying.
And apparently there's been other stories where people have seen this man just reading a newspaper and they like went up to ask him for directions and they would look down and the man didn't have feet. So he's there, just not fully there. Yeah. So that's the main lobby.
Rushing people. Oh my god.
So my next story, it is one of the most famous stories of the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel, and is the story of the Ghost Bride. So the story goes that there was a bride that, she was fully dressed in her white gown and veil, and she was walking down the grand marble staircase. And as she went down, she tripped. She fell down the stairs and died. Some version of the stories, she tripped because her veil and dress it hit the candles that were lining the stairs, and everything caught on fire. While there's other versions that she just tumbled to her death.
Oh my god.
So, I know, very sad. So quite often, she is seen going up and down the stairs, She has also been seen in the ballroom at night, dancing around. So you will often catch glimpses of her. People say that she's still haunting the hotel and looking for a groom and replaying the day that she never had. Um, and then on the blog that I mentioned, there's actually a couple that interacted with the ghost bride. So basically, they were saying that they were walking down the stairs, and the woman of the couple, she felt all of a sudden she tripped, and she tripped to a speed where like it would have been very detrimental the way she there was no way that she could stop herself, but all of a sudden she felt someone grab her and completely pull her up and straight. She turned around. Her fiance was down the stairs already. He was looking at her in horror, and there's no one near her to catch her. So they think it was the ghost bride that was looking out for her and saved her.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, I know.
She's like, I don't want anyone else to go through this. You're welcome.
She's like, these are my stairs. Go hunt other stairs. Thank you.
Yeah. Only I can haunt. If you can trip on other stairs,
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be much appreciated. But like legit, shout out to the ghost bride. That's so nice.
I know. Looking out. Next one, this claim. So the next claim is on the second floor. In the ladies' powder room, there used to be a large ornate mirror, but it had to be replaced by management because there's way too many claims that the mirror was actually haunted. So if you go in the ladies' powder room, it won't be that mirror. Maybe not. Apparently it's not there anymore. So some people claim that when they were looking in the mirror, what they saw looking back at them wasn't them. They either saw a completely different face, or they would see someone standing close behind them, and then they would turn around and they'd be completely alone.
That is my nightmare.
I know, it's disgusting. The mirror, like I said, had been removed. No one knows where it is, and if it's still in the hotel. If it's gone, no one knows. But there's no story that did it back to the mirror, why that would cause it. But one thing that people now say is that even with the mirror gone, that room itself still has a very strange and mysterious atmosphere. So the ghosts are still there. You just can't see them.
Stephanie, what would you do if you turned around and there was a ghost in the mirror?
I would turn back around and leave the building and never come back.
If it was in your house?
I would leave for the moment, come back when there's more people in the house, and then I would fucking cleanse it. I would get rid of the mirror.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Did you watch YTV when you were a kid?
Yes. Why?
Do you remember the commercial that would be on at 8 o'clock at night? And it was literally for one of their, I think it was for their Scary Stories TV show. And it was this girl, and she was looking in the mirror, and she would turn away, and her face would stay there, and it would be this really malicious smile.
No,
I'm gonna find that. It must be on YouTube. I'll send it to you.
No,
thank you. In our stories, it's the fucking worst. I used to hide behind a pillow, and it would come on at night.
The only commercial I remember from when I was younger is that mini hippo.
Oh, the house hippo.
Yeah,
I love that. My friends Nick and Jenny have a puppy who looks like a house hippo, and I call her Luna Tuna, the house hippo. She's so cute.
That was the only commercial I remember.
North American house hippo. I love that.
We need to find that one and post that on our stories. We'll post both.
We'll do a poll. Which do you remember most? It's gonna be the house hippo because that's iconic, but that's okay.
So that was one of the powder rooms. We don't know which one, but go and test them out if you go there. See where you get haunted.
Cool.
On to room 873. So it is rumored that guests would get woken up in the middle of the night by blood-curdling screams. And when they would turn the lights on, there's no cause, they couldn't see why or who was screaming, but sometimes there would be bloody handprints all over the walls.
Okay.
And no matter what housekeeping did, they would keep showing up. But the absolute worst thing about these belly handprints is that they would be the size of a small child.
Oh, that's sad.
So there is a story, a very sad story that connects to room 8, that is rumored to be connected to what happens in room 873. There is a suspected murder where a family father, they checked in one day, and that night something happened where he murdered his child and wife.
Oh,
It's a rumor. We don't know if it's true or not, but that is the story that connects that room. One thing to note too is that room 873 has now been completely sealed off. The door has been walled up as well, so you can't see it. And the hotel manager says that it was renovated to expand another room, but then most people are like, no, it's because of the bloody handprints and the screaming.
yeah.
We don't know. The one thing, though, that is still interesting about that room is that even if you stay on the 8th floor, even if it's not there, there is some activity where the room used to be. So sometimes people would see a childlike apparition that would be walking around the hallways. You would hear things that if it was a wall wouldn't make sense. So
Right.
still some stuff happening, but we don't know what.
Hmm.
And now, so this is a very short story that I have for you guys, but I saved the absolute best for last. Our very last claim is Sam the Bellman. Guests and staff will not stop talking about Sam the Bellman, as he is known as one of the most helpful staff on site. The one thing to know about Sam is that he passed away in 1975.
Okay. Dedicated to the job. Corporations are like, do you have that kind of dedication? Will you still be here behind the grave?
So the Sam the Bellman is believed to be Sam Macaulay, who was the head bellman in the 60s and the 70s. People said that Sam absolutely loved his job and had always said that once he died, he would haunt the hotel, which apparently he is doing good on.
Sam.
So people will often see Sam in his old office, which is now a guest room. So they'll see him just chilling at a desk, and he's just there in their rooms. But then the best thing is that a lot of times guests have actually been helped by Sam. There's one story where these clients, they were locked out of their rooms, and they kept calling the bellman office, but the actual living bellman had been busy at the time, so couldn't come to help them. And 15 minutes later, he finally has a chance to go to the room. He goes to the room, and the guests are inside. So he knocks on the door, asks them, he's like, oh, like you guys are fine. What happened? And they're like, oh yeah, the older gentleman helped us enter a room, the older bellman. And he was the only one on staff at the time. So Sam helped them. So the bellman, of course, in shock, kind of asked them to describe who this older gentleman was, because then he's like, maybe someone has keys that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And the guest described Sam to a T. It was exactly him. Sam has also been known to help guests with their luggage. He will open. He is also attributed to the elevator opening, closing all the time randomly. So he does all those things. He will also give them directions. He'll turn the lights on and off. Like, he's just super helpful. The one notable or not best thing about Sam is that, so most of the time he'll talk to guests and he'll give them direction, then he'll just walk away mid conversation. But a lot of other times when people try to tip him or talk about anything, he'll just vanish right in front of them. And that's how they know that Sam wasn't actually a real person.
Sam, you little minx.
But that's Sam the Bellman.
I love him.
Yeah.
I've never met someone named Sam who I didn't just love.
I know. They're the best.
If your name is Sam, I guarantee you I like you. Like, I guarantee it. Yeah.
But that was that. So, like I said, very, very short. Those were the most notable claims. I'm not going to list all my resources, but I do have a list of them if anyone wants to know where I got my information. But that was it for me. Very short and sweet.
I loved it. Sam, if you're listening, Sam, you don't need to keep working. You've earned your rest. Capitalism is taking advantage of you. You're so cute. Go live your afterlife with fun. Don't you have grandkids or something? I don't know. Sam.
He needs the same attitude as the lobby man. Just like,
he really
chill there, or the guy in the bar. Just go have a drink, scream at people, and then fuck off.
Which is like, isn't that what we all want?
Yeah.
After we cross. That's what I want. I want to just show up at bars, drink, and yell at people.
Yeah.
That sounds like the dream.
Chill. Do you?
100%.
Don't leave bloody handprints. That's not necessary.
Yeah, no, that's not cute. That's also not nice to like the people who are working really hard to keep this hotel clean. Like, they don't deserve that.
No.
Yeah, be considerate.
And there's like so many more. Like, there's some security guards that are saying like they'll see stuff on the security cameras, and like there's so many stories that like if you just went on that one like Taxi Mike website, there's thousands of blog posts, but super interesting site. We should go.
So cool. Yeah, we will. We'll have to make a little list of haunted places to visit and suffer in.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, I won't. You will. We'll get our side-by-side queen beds, and I'll be like peacefully sleeping, and you'll be like blankets pulled up to your nose, like, this is the worst.
I'm gonna have Sam help me, and then the lobby man will come at you.
So you keep saying Sam, and I keep thinking of Sam Britton. Just like, she would help you too. Like, that's the thing. She'd be like, okay. Sam, if you're listening, we love you.
Mm-hmm.
All Sams.
Well,
that's so
that's
good.
It.
All right. On to the next episode. See you there, guys.
Bye.
And remember to like and subscribe. And leave us a good rating on iTunes. Yeah, don't leave something shitty. We don't want that. If you do, we'll send 2020 after you. The year, not even the demon. Just kidding.
We'll send our VID.
VID, not even our VIG. She's not going to water your flowers. She's got other things to do. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Creepy Vibes Only. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook by searching for Creepy Vibes Only Podcast. We absolutely appreciate and love your support, and you can do so by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and subscribing to the show wherever you listen. If you wish to get in touch with us, you can send us an email at cvopodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voice message on our podcast's page on Anchor. We will talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye.